Hello, guys. I hope you can hear me everywhere. Let me just double check Binance and all platforms. We're live in Binance. 1 second. Yes, I believe we are pretty good to go in all platforms. And let me know if you can hear me well. And if you guys have any questions, feel free. So, yeah, let's get going. Welcome back to another live at Voice of Crypto with the Biblong. Today, we're talking about decoding the crypto market making with Jelle Buth, the co-founder of Enflux. Before we get into any content, I would love to do our quick disclaimer. None of this content is a financial advice, and you must do your own market research. As always, we are approaching the Degen Summit, and he's also a speaker, and I'm very excited and happy to host you today. How are you and who you are? Can you please introduce yourself? Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks, Emily, for the intro. My name is Jelle. I'm the co-founder of Enflux, and I always like to say we help projects succeed, and we just happen to do that with market making by actually collaborating with them and teaching them more about what their markets actually look like and how they should move and what good quality liquidity is.
Great. So, market making is very, very important for any project. But for those who are new, what is basically just for them to understand?
So I think a lot of you guys are probably familiar with the concept of liquidity pools, right? Where you create a pool, people deposit tokens and the quote asset into it, and that makes the asset tradable. Where people are buying from the pool and they get tokens out, or if they're selling, they're putting the token in and they get the dollars out of it. On a centralized exchange, that happens differently. In essence, we make assets tradable, but on a centralized exchange that works with limit orders in a book. You have limit sell orders on the sell side. If someone buys, they interact with these sell orders in the book. Because for every buyer, there needs to be a seller. And we as market makers have algorithms to actually fill up those order books. So there is liquidity at all times. So if someone wants to enter the market or buy or sell, there's actually a counterparty to it. If you would remove market makers or liquidity providers from a centralized exchange, it's essentially the same as having a liquidity pool in Uniswap without any tokens in there. That means you are listed, but you're not tradable because there's no one to trade against, and it's not a liquid market. So generally, we're active on centralized exchanges, providing liquidity by placing limit orders on the book so other people can trade. So it's not that we push price, do volume, and all that kind of stuff. The essence of market making is really so other people can participate in the market.
Nice. That's very good. How excited are you about the event and what you're planning to do out there?
I'm super excited. So there's a couple team members flying in as well. So we're going to be with a group of 4 or 5. I'm excited to meet them and excited to speak to a lot of people, like-minded people in the same space. Curious to know what projects are being built and what people are really excited for as a next kind of like hype cycle, so to say. But also curious, what are the serious things that are being built right out there? What are the things that actually add value to the crypto space, but not only to the crypto space, but to like the whole world, so to say.
Yeah, it's nice to go and meet these projects, in person. And so far, this bull run is being a strange one, but I still believe that we are on a bull run, though. Do you have any opinion on the current market? How do you see it?
I I think generally we're all stressing out a little bit too soon that if the price goes down by 30%, right? Like everyone is like, oh, bull market this, bull market that. But that's just crypto, right? Like we just came from like 30K, went all the way up to like 60, 65, 70, right? And now we're down to like 60. And then everyone is like, ooh, it's the end of the bull market. Well, we just had a huge run and we cannot only go up, right? We need sideways movements, we need corrections in order to take a next leg up. And those things just take time. So I don't want to be too impatient and wanting a next bull market in the next month or another leg up. It just needs to happen whenever the timing is right.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really care about the price action anymore, but it can be very overwhelming for, new people as Bitcoin has this crazy adoption at the moment, a lot of politics getting into it. So, yeah, I think, however, we're still on a bull market and it's normal, but people care
Hmm.
too much about the price. And as you mentioned, you have to be patient. If you're not patient, that is definitely going to kill all. But yeah, let's talk more about Enflux and what you guys have like. What is the difference between you and other market makers?
So that's a good question. So most of the project we work with, they work with us because we try to collaborate with them. Um, we have algorithms, but we so don't simply turn them on and you don't hear from us and we send you a weekly report. We try to like help you better understand your markets. Do this collaboratively because it doesn't make sense that they don't even have the slightest idea about what we're doing. It is such a crucial role market making of the overall project itself that it cannot just simply be a standalone component. There needs to be collaboration. We're almost like an in-house trading team, so to say. And I think the second thing, and that really, touches upon the whole Web3, ethos, right, is don't trust, verify. Um, Market making is kind of like a black box. You have no idea what the market maker is doing, what the algos do, and how it works, and how they're actually performing. Because if you look at the real performance of market making, it's all about creating a healthy market. And of course, keeping in mind P&L, that you don't lose a lot of money along the way. But most projects don't really understand what the actual metrics are to define a healthy market. And how do you track that over time? I mean, you can go to CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap and check the liquidity score, check the spread and the 2% depth, but those are only snapshots. Market makers, in the meantime, can do a very bad job at managing a market. You have no idea. So we provide a full transparency with dashboards where they can see over any time frame what we're doing, not because so they can sit in front of the chart, every hour of the day to check what we're doing, but just in case they want to, they can. It's the same as like you don't go on Etherscan and check every transaction out there, but if you want to, you could go back there and actually check what was happening. And that's why we're providing that transparency and all the dashboards around it, so they can literally see what we're doing every second, based on real liquidity metrics rather than only volume.
Nice. Yeah, yeah. It's definitely important for projects to understand that. And what are you guys currently working on as development at the moment in your own company? Like what's next and what are you planning to do?
I mean, so there's some things that are always happening, and then there are some new developments, right? Where the basic stuff is improving and structuring the infrastructure that we have so everything runs more smoothly. Working on the strategy, understanding how can we better provide liquidity more consistently. What are our pitfalls? And that's a continuous process, right? That happens all the time. And I think on top of that, we're getting more active on the deck side as well, where we're integrating with some new chains. With Open Ocean, we connect to actually do some arbitrage between, you know, they're an aggregator, so we don't need a connection to all the different dexes, but just one, which is Open Ocean. And just doing more on the deck side with the capabilities there. Primarily talking about arbitrage and making sure that prices are efficient between exchanges. We see a decent amount of tokens moving, multi-chain, where they have a base pool and an Ethereum pool, or a base and a Binance Smart Chain pool. Like, how do you actually make sure that those prices are the same across the two chains? Well, that's where the arbitrage comes in. But everything why it's not as simple is, first you need to have the DEX trading capabilities, and then we need the whole analytics so the projects can actually see what we're doing right on chain, but also how the balances change, which opportunities we're taking. So that's kind of like a new thing we're working on, and really giving the transparency back to the user again.
Nice. And on your opinion, what is the best chain? Yeah.
Um, I, it's a tough one. I still think I like Ethereum, just because they're OG and kind of like they started everything right. But I think otherwise you're looking more like a Polygon or something, where transaction fees are significantly lower. I'm not a
Yeah.
huge fan of Solana particularly. I think it's great in terms of statistics, but just the narrative it got around the meme tokens is something I'm not the biggest fan of particularly. but I like Polygon a lot.
I see, because I mean, as I'm also on the market, the chain you launch is very, very important, and that defines a lot on the investment side too. That's why I wanted to ask you.
Hmm.
You know, is like poly is cheaper, but in the same time, like if you want to make more, you probably want to go for Ethereum or something. Like
Hmm. What do you mean with making more? Making more on the
if you
investment side,
launch
or?
like a project in certain chain, it can impact the investing side.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of these, the reason why some projects go multi-chain is because there's just certain hype and more adoption on certain chains that are like, hey, let's create a token there as well. It does add a lot of complexity, at least for a market maker, to keep those prices efficient. You need to have two DEX pools, which all both need liquidity. So you need to split liquidity rather than have one pool, which is very liquid. Um, so yeah, it's not always a straightforward answer of whether that's a good decision or not. It really depends on kind of like how your pools are structured at the moment.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is an interesting um, position to be in. Your position exactly. Do
Hmm.
you feel like it's a lot of speculation? But I don't feel like speculation is bad. People love to talk about, oh, this is speculating, but that's basically how the market is structured. How do you see that? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, it's something we talk about a lot on LinkedIn, and I think that if you have a pie, you have the speculators and you have the adopters, right? Adopters are the people that really use crypto for the use cases. You have the speculators that just want to make money, and I think the division or like the pie chart is a little bit like skewed. Like there's a lot of speculators out there and not enough adopters. And I wish, I mean, I think that's just a general customer journey, right? Like projects, or people become a speculator and then they become an adopter, hopefully. So I think speculators are not bad because more speculators means we can turn them into adopters. But I wish the projects marketed it more about adoption to really convert those speculators who are buying the token into actual users rather than focus marketing on actually getting the token price up and getting buyers only. But how do we get those buyers to actually use your product? Because that is where the long term growth is.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. And, I'm not sure how many years you've been doing this for, but what is the biggest challenge you faced on the industry so far? And how many years actually you've been doing this?
So I've been doing this for around like 4 years. Enflux a little bit over a year and a half, and I was working at a previous market maker before as well. And the biggest challenge, I think the biggest challenge in general is, at least also for our business, is just the market cycles. A lot of projects have a decent amount of money in the bull market, but it's about how are they preparing and surviving a bear market when it comes. Because the reason we lose projects is mostly because they just run out of money, run out of capital at some point, and of course, in a bear market, it's more present. Projects will have are focusing more on liquidations, getting price. Price will be pushed down at that point to actually build some treasury. So it's a tough situation. That's just something hard to manage as well, and that's where we really have to step in as a partner rather than just a simple service provider, right? And guide them on what is the best decision you can do here and what is it that we can do there as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a challenge for sure, but I think like the bear market is very important on a building side. But I do feel like you can basically make money in any market at this point. It's just how you structure your company and things around. But of course, it will be less on a bear market and more building. But it's
Yeah.
important. It cleans up a lot the market as well.
Yeah, and that's why like the projects we like to work with are the ones that have real utility and strong fundamentals because those are the ones that will survive in a bear market rather than the really speculative ones. Meme tokens, they die in a bear market while the solid projects they survive. So the more solid projects we work with strong fundamentals, the more likely we'll have those clients in the bear market as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, do you have anything that you can say that you're working at the moment that is going to be huge?
I don't know if I can say those things, but I think the best thing to do is just follow us on LinkedIn for that.
Okay, yeah, that
Yeah.
is fair enough. And where is the best place to find you guys on search shows?
We're going more active on Twitter, but I definitely think the best place is to follow us on LinkedIn. Not the company, but primarily me, my co-founder Valentine, and our CMO Farhad. We talk about this a lot. When we look at the markets, the things that go well, but especially the things that go wrong. I mean, there's a lot of people talking about, to the moon and stuff, but the critical eye is also important in order to move the crypto space forward, I believe, and that's what we're talking about as well. And especially because we're a company, and as a company, you see different things in the Web3 space than as retail. So I think it's fair for transparency reasons to also talk about those things.
Yeah, I also love LinkedIn mostly for everything. So, guys, if you are watching, just go ahead to LinkedIn and follow them, everywhere, basically, all socials. But I believe LinkedIn is very strong on B2B. And, if you start for companies, it just make more sense. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
more serious people, like Twitter is another word. I'm not saying there is, it's coming, but it's just like it is more serious and more professional to be on LinkedIn. You can find
Mm-hmm.
more attractive, let's say, professionals.
Yeah, and we're moving to Twitter as well because there's just some people that are only on Twitter and not on LinkedIn. So we're missing a huge audience there. And I think we have a good story to tell. So we're moving that to Twitter as well and becoming more active.
Nice. Yeah, it's definitely different audiences. What can I
For
say?
sure.
And yeah, we're very excited to have you as a speaker at the Digital Summit. Thank you so much for the entire info. Would you like to say anything to close?
Um, I wasn't prepared for this one, but I think that it's been summer and we can see things have slowed down. And I feel like Token 2049, the DGen Summit, and everything around that is kind of like lifting the things up again. The summer is over, and it's kind of like the start to a new chapter, which is until the end of the year. So I'm very curious and excited to see what's going to happen in that period.
Yeah, definitely. People do eventually get out. Like I'm building most times, but of course, summer takes a lot of distraction from the market, and it's just
For
normal.
sure.
This happens every year. So,
Yeah.
well, we love to see you at the event and wish you all the best. Thank you so much
Thank you
for
so
being
much.
here, and we look forward to hear from you.
We'll see you soon.
See you
Ciao, ciao.
soon. Thank you. So, yes, guys, it was very, very nice talking to him. Don't forget to visit Voice of Crypto website. Get your tickets. This event is going to be absolutely bullish. I am very excited. Everybody is. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. And let us know what would you like to see on the channel. As always, I'll see you soon. Don't panic. The market is just taking time. See you soon.